Last year, or last New Year's, Ray and I went to Kobe to visit our old friends, the Sakais. Yoriko made oseiji ryori, the traditional New Year's meal. I've made oseiji ryori before, but it's not as fancy. Then we had some exotic rice cakes. They're pretty, but they don't taste like much to me. I ate this one because it was the closest to real cake I could find. We all bundled up to go Omairi. Let's visit the shrines and grave sites. First, a shrine near Mr. Sky's business. The weather was chilly, but the camellias were blossoming. I checked out a sign describing all the unlucky ages, more for women than men, of course. I really like this international peace post. After the shrine, we went into the hills to the Sky's family gravesite. It started to snow, and it was really cold. The Sky's hurried up to put out the candles and the food for the ancestors. Then a quick prayer, and we were off down the hill again. This is where they put the old stones after years and years of the family stops coming to visit. It's right next to the huge group of Jesus, the saint that protects unborn children and sick children. The next day, Ray and I went to Ikuta Shrine in the downtown Kobe area. It has a small park in the back dedicated to a princess that stopped there during a war campaign hundreds of years ago. Then we went out to see the Fox Shrine and all the premises. I love the red gates to the shrine. Then we were out the big gate. The following day we went to Hirodorigoe, a small village with a big cemetery.
We have a cemetery in Hirodorigoe where there is a great big statue of Buddha. These are some of the older stones here.
It's like Paris. Remember the Paris graveyards? Built up. Instead of just low, up.
Except there aren't any bodies buried here. Way up in the mountains, the highest mountain around here is about 400 or 500 meters high. And here, come on, have another view of Kobe.
Yeah.
Down in there, all the way down to the ocean.
And, oh great. And they just keep going. It's a huge graveyard. And oddly enough, in Japan they like to put the graveyards on the top of a mountain.
Now we came up to another level, where we have more stones and a path. And then we're eventually going up there. And up there, you can see through the trees, this is the big Buddha.
"20 years ago, when we lived in Kobe, we found this big Buddha at Hirodorigoe, and it became one of our favorite walking places. Well, that's when I was like 30 years old, and I thought I was old and all grown up that time. I couldn't imagine coming back there at 50. After the big Buddha, we found this tunnel that went under the expressway. It led up to the temple, where the monks lived who took care of the cemetery. We had to play around in it. Then it was back on the trains and back to the Sakai's house. After all that excitement in Kobe, it was great to get back to Inuyama and back home again.